Today on Creatively Bambi, perfectly chocolatey brownies. To make brownies absolutely perfectly delicious is so easy. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. It's really easy to do, and I want you to try it after you see me do it. And you'll know for yourself, not only do they taste delicious, but they look good and they smell good. All right, this is my foolproof recipe, and this is all you need. You're gonna need butter. This here is unsweetened chocolate, all right? You'll see that in the baking aisle of the grocery store. You're gonna need granulated sugar. Here I have flour, salt, and unsweetened cocoa powder. That's just to make it a little more chocolatey. Nothing wrong with that, right? And you're also gonna need eggs and vanilla extract. That's all you need, and there's a specific step-by-step process that you have to follow in order to get your brownies mixed the right way. So I'm gonna show you that. First, we have to get our butter and our chocolate all melty and delicious and ready to go. So we're gonna head over to the microwave. You can do yours over a double boiler if you want, but I prefer to just do it in the microwave for 1 minute. Give it a stir, and then you put it in there 1 more minute. What's so cool about using the microwave here in the Creatively Bambi kitchen at the Shea is that we have this really cool microwave. Come on, I'm gonna show you how it works. So this microwave here at the Shea is so cool because it's not on the counter, it's actually in the counter. Check it out. And it's this easy open microwave drawer. I get kind of giddy every time I pop something in there. It's so cool. All right, so what I like to do is I turn on the microwave for 1 minute, and then I give it a stir, and then 1 more minute, and then it should be all melty and delicious and creamy and ready to go to the next step. So check out the chocolate and the butter. It's nice and melted. One thing I do want to emphasize is that you do this incrementally. You don't just want to put it in there for 2 or 3 minutes straight because it will burn and then you'll taste it in the final result of your brownies. So make sure you do it just a little bit at a time. I did it 1 minute, stirred it, then another minute, stirred it a little more, and then it's ready to go. So it obviously depends on your microwave, the power you have it set on. So just do it a little bit at a time to make sure that that chocolate doesn't scorch in the bowl. And it can happen, and then your brownies won't be nearly as yummy as what they should be, all right? So we're gonna take this chocolate and our butter, and we're gonna put it in the mixer along with our sugar at this point. This warm chocolate is gonna allow that sugar to kind of melt into it, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, butter and chocolate in the bowl. All right, then we have our sugar in the bowl. Now at this point, I'm gonna let this mix for a little bit, about 20 seconds. All right, butter and chocolate and sugar is all mixed. Next, we're gonna add in our eggs and our vanilla. The reason we don't add the eggs in with the sugar and the butter is because that butter and the chocolate is so hot from the microwave, and you don't wanna put eggs into that. Otherwise, you're gonna have scrambled eggs in your brownies. Nobody wants that, right? That won't be any good. So we mix that sugar in there, bring that temperature down just a little bit, and then you can add in your eggs and your vanilla extract. Another 30 seconds or so on low to medium speed, then we'll go to the last step in the mixing process. All right, that's done. Next step is to add our dry ingredients. This is our flour, our sugar, and our cocoa powder. You don't have to add the cocoa powder. You can omit that from this recipe, but I am a chocolate girl, okay? I love chocolate. The more the better. You can even kick it up a notch if you want and add in some chocolate chips or chocolate chunks. Don't even get me started, all right? That would just take it up another level. Or you could even add some walnuts if you want, or pecans. That would also be good too. I like my brownies though, just pretty plain and pretty simple. So let's stir this in. All right, so we're gonna turn this off. I only let it go for about 10 seconds. I'm gonna scrape the bowl with my spatula. As you know, you always have to do when you're baking anything. You gotta make sure everything gets from the bottom of the bowl up to the top and mixed in really well. So we're gonna do that. Let it mix for about 10 to 15 more seconds, never over mix, and then we're gonna go on to the next step. You see all that stuff on the sides there? That's all the good ingredients that we put in, and you just wanna make sure that none of that gets left behind, all right? Because that's one of the things that will make brownies or any other dessert come out the right way, is to get everything mixed in all the way. All right, so the next step of the process is getting your pan prepped and ready to go. Now, you can always just use a pan as is, like this, without using the parchment paper. I like to use the parchment paper only because it's less cleanup, and I'm trying to get in and out of the kitchen as quick as possible. Parchment paper makes it happen. So I have it cut to the size of the length of the bowl, I'm not too particular about it. Here's a little trick if you don't already know. When you're using parchment paper and you're baking, one of the things that you can do is you spray the pan, even if it's a nonstick pan, but the trick to spraying the pan doesn't have anything to do with the nonstick process. It's actually just to help this first layer of parchment paper stay in place, just like that. All right? See how simple that is? That's one of these little baking tricks that you may not have known. All right, next one, and you don't have to spray this one because it should stay down in there pretty good already, and there's still some on the side, so you don't have to go there. All right, so your pan's all lined and ready to go. And then when you're done with the brownies, you can actually use this to pull it up out of the pan, all right? And I'll show you how to do that. That's super easy too. So we're gonna pour our batter in the pan. You probably noticed throughout the shoot that I have a little Band-Aid on my finger. While I was prepping some of the ingredients, I gave myself a little cut. Yes, it happens to us all, so you can ignore that part. All right, so we're gonna pour this batter in the pan. Look how good that looks. I personally could dive in head first, and it would be all good. This brownie recipe is gonna make a brownie that sits up probably about 1.5 to 2 inches. And it's not super cakey. I do not like cakey brownies. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you like. You do you, right? But I like mine kind of fudgy. And this recipe, if you want it more fudgy, you can take it out a little earlier. If you want it a little more cakey, you can leave it in a few minutes longer. So we're gonna pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. We're gonna take it out, let it cool, and then have a little taste. All right, so the brownies have cooled and they are ready to eat, and I cannot wait to dive in head first. So, I'm gonna take your brownies out of the pan. All right, see how that parchment paper just peels right off there? Super easy. All right, I like to cut my brownies kind of at an angle so they're diamond shaped. All right, you can cut yours however you want. That doesn't affect the taste, right? So, I'll do mine this way. So you go diagonal, like this, and then the next cuts you're gonna do are going to be vertical or horizontal, depending on how you're looking at it. And then you're gonna have these cute little sort of different shaped. They're not quite diamonds, but check it out. I'm sure anybody taking math classes right now could tell you the correct word for it. I don't know. I don't care, I'm just getting ready to eat one, right? All right, so that's how they're gonna look, right? So I'm just gonna peel them off of here and put them on my platter. Now, obviously, you don't have to have a fancy schmancy platter to get your brownies out and served. You can just throw them in a container. But now, for you, I'm gonna put them on here just so they'll look all nice, all right? And then, the big finish is a little powdered sugar sprinkled on top. Again, you don't have to do that, but I like to do it because it looks pretty. And this is one of my favorite colors too, the color of this platter, so why not, right? Because you can, that's why. All right, check it out. We'll stop there. You get the picture. And then you take a little powdered sugar, sprinkle it on top, and check it out. Isn't that pretty? There you go. What are they gonna say when they come home to this, right? So good. So delicious. Check out the recipe on creativelybambi.com. Make it yourself. Thanks for checking in with me today. I'll see you next time.